one of the things that we wanted to really talk about is setting the goals now.
And I don't know how you guys organize your week, right? But I do it by week. I'll set up his week. These are all the things we need to do this week. And then daily, 6 tasks.
We checking them all.
The most important task. And
The stuff that you gotta do.
You gotta know. Check it off. I did 6 things. You might have 20, but do those 6 important things.
So every time I go to a house, I'm submitting an offer. But as a result of this, I was able to buy, get involved in all of these deals. So that's 14 deals. But the other thing that we ended up doing that I don't know if people do this, but we started writing down the lessons learned throughout the course of transactions, because you'll forget that too. And it is true. Hindsight is 20/20. So when you go through something, you always see how, man, I should have did it this way, or I should have did it that way. Like these are some of the lessons that we learned. And so the first one might not make sense to you, but stay behind the pendulum. Meaning, I find that a lot of times when I'm dealing with these motivated sellers, right? Sometimes I get in between them and closing the deal. And so what I've been learning is, like, you gotta let people close themselves. Sometimes I get too aggressive and too pushy. And so they call it staying behind the pendulum. Let a person close themselves. If this house is for you, it's gonna be for you. Don't try to get in the way of and forcing people to sign contracts. One of the other things that I learned is it's okay to negotiate on the day of closing. That's how I was, just like you. My mentor was telling me this, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do that. But then I got forced in a position that I had to do it, because I had this property that I wasn't gonna buy. I was wholesaling, and then I found another buyer that wanted to buy it. And then when you're dealing with these wholesale transactions, like when you have a property in the contract and then you selling your contract to somebody else, at some point they're gonna be able to see the number that you have it in the contract for, right? And so then he took me all the way to closing and was like, nah, I need to get the property for this price. So then it made me have to go back and talk to the seller on the day of closing. I didn't want to do it. It worked out, because I went back to the seller, and he had a valid reason of why he wanted the price down. We was all the way up at probably like $530. He wanted it for $490. So I had to go get them. So to keep me in the deal, I had to go get it even down lower than the $490, because that's what he wanted, right? So I had to go tell her that we could only pay $460, right? And so we was at closing. So I was like, well, listen, I had to break down the things that what was going on and tell her, look, I understand. So if you're not willing to come down, then you could keep my deposit. You see what I'm saying? So then now they got a decision to make. Do we take this $400, almost $500,000 now, or do we take this $5,000 and go try to start all over? That's why it's very important to build bonding and rapport in the beginning, because then later on you never know the conversations you're gonna have with these people. And then make sure you get buyer EMD in the beginning of the transaction. Like, I done had deals where I didn't pay attention. They was like, yeah, we're gonna drop the money off, and then y'all start doing the transaction before the money is actually in the title companies.
Yeah.
The thing was cancel out wishy-washy words, which is on here, but I got the word but cancels out everything you said prior to. So when we be talking about stuff, and this is just dealing with our goals, or we talking to people, and then you talking, and then you be like, but, and that cancels out everything that you previously said. You know what I'm saying? So cancel those words out. That's dealing with your goals. I'm saying it's like, are you a real estate agent? Are you a real estate investor? Right. You're not gonna say, nah, I'm trying. The can't, maybe, might, and any other words that you think. Like, cancel them out.
Yeah.
Make your partner look good, business and personal. You need to be edifying your partner, business and personal. That's the things you also had to learn the hard way. You gotta edify your partner, your business partner, your partner in life. Always make them look good. Prime your cash buyer before you show them the contract. Meaning, are you gonna be okay if I'm making $50,000 off of this deal? You know what I'm saying? Before you show them the contract, before you go into all that, prime them. look, do you have a problem with me making money? You know, if I'm making X amount of money, because you know, I go ahead on and show them the contract because I need to know sooner than later that there's a problem. But this other one, this one came from my mentor too. If their lips are moving, they're lying, right? And that's dealing with motivated sellers. I'm not talking about every time in life. I'm talking about when you go to a seller's house to get all the information from you. They call it stealing your information, and then take your information and go leverage it with the next person. Like this business, you know, I say it's a rumble in the jungle. You know what I'm saying? So